Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show.
Sup?
My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
And we just kicked off a hype train. If you're watching this on YouTube later, that means while we are live, enough people have either followed along, gifted subscriptions, subscribed themselves, cheered with some bits to launch a hype train, which then is supposed to trigger more people to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching for the first time and you don't know that, that's what that means.
Whoa.
And so far, Jen's account has gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. Lisa's account has also gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. And we are now in Hype Train Level 4 already.
Jeez. And we've got different On the Rocks cocktails today. Tomorrow is our Ready to Drink Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow night, we'll be doing an award show here on Twitch, revealing the winners of the best canned and bottled cocktails. And On the Rocks is sponsoring the award show. So all week, we're drinking their cocktails. And if we hit the hype train, we're just going to each of us pour one of these over some ice, and that's our drink.
Yeah, Jess from Minnesota just gifted 100 bits, and we are actually more than halfway through, 74% of the way through Hype Train Level 4. So we will keep an eye on that. What?
We got people saying it's buffering.
Our speeds look like they're fine.
What is the thing you got to do on your end? Lower the settings?
On my end?
There, sorry.
Yeah, you can. I forgot how to do that because I've never had to do it for our channel.
The little gear wheel, I think.
I'm looking, yeah. It looks like our download speeds are 523
Damn.
megabytes per second, and upload is 331. So that means with those numbers, we shouldn't be lagging, but that doesn't mean it can't be our fault.
Right.
Just means it shouldn't be. But, I mean, we started today 10 minutes late because the camera just decided to not work. And the weird thing is with technology, there are certain things where you use it every day, right? And everything is plugged in, everything looks good, and it just doesn't work. And then you have to follow the chain of like, okay, well, is this the plug that is maybe loose today? Or is this the connection? Or is that? So what I did right away, once I realized the camera just stopped working, because it was working when I first set everything up, and then it just stopped. I said, you know what? I'm going to the base. I'm going to square one right away. I'm not going to sit here and try all the cables. So I unplugged everything. Plugged it all back in. So I don't even know what the problem was. I just know that I managed to fix all of it in that, moment of
good job.
Frantic unplugging.
Yeah, our speeds are pretty legit today.
So let's see if you, for anyone here, because I know there's, probably 100 people or so in the chat right now, or at least watching the stream. Let us know how your speeds are and how this video looks to you. Is it glitchy? Is it buffering? Is it totally fine? And we'll be able to take a quick visual poll. We don't actually have to set up a poll to do so.
But it is Brian in Post Falls, Idaho birthday.
So first off, happy birthday, Brian in Post Falls, Idaho. And that's the Arabic happy birthday song that we play to celebrate anything from birthdays to just really anything.
Right, it's true.
And it is actually a pretty fun time to be an Arabic person, to be someone from the Middle East. Or what is the Mina is also a abbreviation. No, what's it called when every letter stands for something? You know what I'm talking about, right? What is that? What is that word?
We need that thing from What's Trending that I talked about, that where you type in it gives you the word. But we have that here, people.
Let's see. For anyone who's buffering, we have a tip from Kitty Queso. Oh, my chat's going very fast right now. Where'd it go?
Oh, God.
All right, now it's paused. Kitty Queso said, go to settings, advanced, and then hit the low latency setting. Huh, that's weird. I don't know what the problem could be, honestly.
It could
Maybe Twitch is having problems.
Yeah, I mean. An anagram?
An anagram, there we go.
That website.
Oh, that's the website that you did yesterday.
In What's
Monday's
Trending.
episode of the Morning Show podcast.
I literally typed in when every word stands for
something.
Something, whatever.
So the anagram, MENA, MENA, is Middle East, North Africa. So it's supposed to be like the greater kind of Arab-speaking world.
Or acronym. What'd I say? Anagram.
I think I said acronym first. Either way, it's a good time to be from that area because we have this birthday song. First off, right? And we have our first Marvel superhero. If you have not watched Moon Knight yet, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it takes place in Egypt, so mostly Egypt. And I just found out yesterday because someone who I barely know but still follow on Instagram posted their friend who just made it to Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, and she is Lebanese.
Oh, no way.
Born here, just like me, but Lebanese.
That's cool.
And I was like, hell yeah.
You should be in the swimsuit edition. Do they have guys?
I don't think Sports Illustrated has a guys edition.
Why not?
Who does? Oh no, ESPN does the Bodies magazine where it's just like pro athletes naked. Have you seen that? Yeah.
Are
Let's
they
see.
actually naked when they're taking photos? Like,
I think they are actually naked. I mean, the guys might put like a sock over it. I hear that happens sometimes, but yeah, they're naked. And Diva Woman said that worked the settings. So again, go to settings, advanced, low
I
latency.
don't know.
And Jen and Lisa just brought us over single-handedly, really, today. Got us through Hype Train Level 5. I know there was a lot of other people that helped out, but 7 gifted subscriptions for each of them today.
One day we'll fly Jen and Lisa to Seattle for all the things.
One day when this show really takes off. So,
And
I
when
don't know if
flights-
I was supposed to shake this.
Same, I don't know why I did that. And when flights drop at least 50%.
It is nuts.
So crazy.
I was actually talking to someone at the gym the other day, and he was like, oh, you have any trips lined up? And I wanted to be like, I can't afford any trips anymore.
I'll be honest.
ridiculous.
I'm so grateful I'm not traveling anywhere because of Max right now. So
I'm not spending $1,000 to go to New Jersey. I love New Jersey. I'm not spending $1,000 to fly there.
All right. So what do you tell the class what you have?
So this is what we're going to be drinking tomorrow during our On the Rocks, our Ready to Drink award show, which is brought to you by On the Rocks Premium Cocktails. So I have the On the Rocks, just the margarita, and it's made with Hornitos tequila.
And I have the Cosmopolitan. I haven't had a Cosmo in so long. I was
What is it in there?
it's crafted with effin' vodka.
Oh, cool.
That was fun to say.
Effin'. Let's see. Lenny from Queens said Tara Yazdi was the first Palestinian female to be featured in SI swimsuit. I had no idea. Looks like everyone is saying that the low latency setting works for them. So again, settings, advanced, low latency if you're having issues. Cheers, Carla Marie.
Cheers, Anthony. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers to everyone out there.
Cheers.
Cheers to Seattle Cocktail Club. Let's see.
Why don't I drink Cosmos anymore? What is in
That
a
is
Cosmo?
very good. Yeah, what is in a Cosmo?
Vodka, triple sec, elderberry extract. Ooh, good for you. And natural flavors.
So this is actually very good margarita. If I had some salt on the rim,
Oh, sorry, I didn't think about that.
it would have been very good. No, it's still good anyway. And the whole idea with these On the Rocks cocktails is like right out of the bottle, you just pour it over ice and you're good to go. So check that out
Yeah,
if you'd
but
like.
There's also nothing that doesn't say like, okay, the hard part's done. Like you can have fun garnishing a
Oh,
cocktail.
well, yeah, of course.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, boom, and then you can do like a cool lime, or you can put some elderberries in this and be like, look at this amazing drink I just made.
Do you even know what an elderberry looks like? Because I don't. I've seen
I
it
think it
written
looks like
everywhere.
an older berry.
A gray berry. A berry who's seen some things. Now, we got through the hype train. Thank you for that. Something that is not on the main list, even though let me bring that up real quick. It's not very long, which is good because I need to add to it right now. We mentioned as this show, as the countdown was coming to a conclusion, I said Tuesday is Brewers Day, which was like the saying for my high school football team. I've probably brought that up before at some point.
Yeah.
And Tuesday for Ridgewood High School football, and probably a lot of high schools out there, was the day you would do like your live tackling drills, your team defense, like your offense and your defense would go head to head. It's during the season one of the few days that you'd really, really hit people.
Okay.
Right? Because you don't want to do that the day before a game. You don't want to try, like injure anyone or be tired. Monday was always film from the previous week. And for some reason, a lot of those sayings that were on the backs of our high school football shirts have been popping up into my brain. Did North Arlington have those? Like the football players would wear like the North Arlington football shirts, and it had some. stupid saying on the back, right?
Uh,
Like if it was here for Ballard High School, it would say like beavers fight together. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true about beavers, but
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and like I could kind of see it and get it, but I don't like. It's not.
like we had one my senior year that was hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, which was basically because our team wasn't very good, or we weren't supposed to be. It was telling everyone on Ridgewood High School football, we know you're not the most athletic team out there, but if you work really hard and all those athletic teams don't take us seriously, then you got a shot.
Well, our cheerleading one said NAHS, the best no less, which was from a cheer.
Yeah, it makes sense at least.
Which we stole from another team.
How
straight up, bring it on style.
I was gonna say how bring it on of you. And then another one we had was, what was it? The fall 7 times, get up 8, never cry uncle. That was one.
T-shirt?
Yeah, it was on the back of a T-shirt.
We should make you look great.
And
high school.
that's where I was going with it. Is we should make a Carlin Marine Anthony football team or Carlin Marine Anthony athletics, and every year we do like a weird, stupid saying on the back.
Well, I have talked to our designer, Mike, and there is something he wants to create that it's not necessarily a high school theme, but there is like a thing.
And that's all you're going to, they're not going to give us anything else?
No.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I started realizing really like how fast I speak, and how many times I say like I just did when we began the morning show podcast.
You edit that.
Because I edit it, and I'm trying to be a little more concise and direct and accurate during the morning show podcast. So I've started something, and it's probably not the healthiest thing for your diet, but if you go through drive-thrus, and you could do this at like Starbucks too, go through drive-thrus, and I've been trying this as I go to like Taco Bell and KFC and Wendy's by us, and all the drive-thrus. Slow down and make it a point.
Driving or what?
Well, obviously slow down driving, but slow down while you are ordering your food, and make it a point to not say or while you order.
Okay, I will double down on that.
Okay.
And I don't know, I don't have a trick. I don't have like go through a drive-thru and do this, even though I just said it. Trying to avoid like.
Okay. So
saying like. In some cases,
like.
It's okay, but saying it a lot. I notice that when I'm tired, the uhs come out, the likes come out. It's like if I'm tired, it's done. And I am ordering that line right now.
I feel like I speak so quickly that I then need to catch up to myself, and I use the ums and the uhs as pauses to be like, wait a second, let me see where I just was, so that I can now catch up because I sped through the last like 18 ideas that I had.
It's so true.
So I'm trying very hard to slow down and at least reduce. I'm not going to completely eliminate the ums and the uhs from my speech. But I think if you could do it at a drive-thru, because for some reason at drive-thrus, I feel like our brains break.
I want a number 6.
And meanwhile, you're probably getting the same exact thing every day.
Yeah.
So that's a good little trick if you want to try it out. It's been working for me, I think.
It looks like with the buffering, the chat is a bit behind.
Thank you to JillBean82 for the subscription with Prime. And people are now telling us what was on the back of their high school.
Sonali said we should have a shirt that says English wasn't my first language, which is your excuse for it. Maybe that's why you say
I wish I could use that as my excuse.
You use it for everything.
You know what? I was actually, when I was in Detroit with my family, I forgot how this came up, but I was with my aunt, my mom, my dad, my uncle, and the younger generation of cousins was asking the older generation about emigrating here because all of them were immigrants.
Yeah.
Different ages. They like my aunt Norma, she came over here basically as an adult. Like she had been, I think she was already going to college in overseas before she came here.
Dumb question. I didn't know girls could go to college then and there.
Or maybe it was a boarding school. Either way, it was a I want to say it was higher education of some sort.
Okay.
But meanwhile, her youngest sister, my Aunt Nuha, moved here when she was like 5.
Oh, I didn't even realize I thought she was born here.
No, Nuha was not born here. But we were talking to them about, like, even though Nuha spoke Arabic first and didn't speak English until she came here. And there were no like ESL classes back then. And she was at an age where that didn't matter as much, where her older siblings would struggle in high school for a little bit. But if you were 5 years old, they just put you in school and said, you'll figure it out within a couple weeks. And I never thought of this before, but my aunt, I believe, asked my dad, because he moved here when he was like 18 from Lebanon during the Civil War, what language do you dream in? And I was like, wow, I never thought of that. I always thought like my dad would, his first language that he would respond in his brain was Arabic, then he has to translate it to English.
It's crazy.
I never thought, and I guess both my mom and my aunt said this, they usually say English becomes your native language when you dream in it.
Okay, so what does he dream in?
He had no idea. He's like, I don't know.
Would you obviously
I dream in English, yes.
But you don't remember your dreams.
I very rarely remember my dreams.
Which we saw Doctor Strange this weekend, and this really isn't a spoiler, but the theory is that when you're dreaming, it's actually your life in another universe.
Yeah, the idea that they build that whole movie off of is that.
So I'm like, every time I'm dreaming, I'm like, oh my God, the other me was falling off a cliff in another universe. Did I live? Probably not. But it actually makes, like, that is the best dream theory, like, I think that I've ever heard of.
That's you and other...
In other universes.
I don't know, because the ones I remember, I'm usually being chased or a car's not stopping. I don't want to think that all of the other me's out there are just in these terrible scenarios, and mine is the best.
And then the other...
That's terrible.
And then the other yous are dreaming about just a boring-ass life.
Yeah.
Roaming around.
Just doing nothing all day. But it was interesting to think of people who emigrated here, who spoke a different language. What do you dream in?
Well,
and if anyone... Yeah.
We have people who definitely speak other languages in here and definitely didn't start with English, so I'm curious. Normally, we have these responses flowing in right away.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay.
It is definitely like a weird today not having that.
It's all right. We can still roll. I mean, we've done a podcast for how long?
Oh, I know. I'm like, but we're so...
The other thing to think of with other languages, and I think I realized it in high school. Mm-hmm. And as Americans, I don't think we take into consideration how difficult and how smart you have to be to speak two languages fluently, even if you have a very thick accent with one. And I feel like for whatever reason, unless it's an English accent, sometimes Australian, we as Americans automatically assume if you're speaking with an accent, you're somehow dumber. Right. Meanwhile, think of all the doctors and dentists and lawyers that you've been involved with in some capacity that
my orthodontist, Dr. Roos, has an accent.
Exactly.
Genius.
And I was thinking about it the other day because there was a guy in the locker room, a white guy in the locker room, who was trying to have a conversation with a guy who did not speak English, who spoke Spanish in the locker room. I don't know where he was from. And there were some times where I wanted to interject because I knew some of the words in Spanish. Oh. And then I started thinking to myself, I wonder if I could have a full conversation in Spanish and how dumb I would sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I know that, like, in my native language, I'm not dumb.
No.
But when you can't communicate properly.
And I don't think anyone trying to communicate, no, you're not saying this. I don't think anyone trying to communicate in another language is dumb. You're actually smart.
Yeah. Well, you obviously know a whole second language, or at least part of a second language.
Any words.
And what I'm saying is, I feel like we oftentimes characterize people who don't speak whatever language of whatever country you're in properly as somehow less intelligent, when in reality they're more intelligent, if anything.
So Jess from Minnesota said, I dream in English but talk to myself in my head in German.
Wow.
And Sonali said the voice in my head is definitely not English.
That's so wild to me.
Same.
And also the speed in which people who don't think in English but then can translate into English is wild to me. Because if I was to try to speak Spanish, it would be very deliberate. Even Arabic isn't that quick for me, and that's something that I speak.
Say something.
No.
Say good morning in Arabic.
No.
Why don't you do it?
I don't know.
Are you, like, embarrassed?
A little bit. Not embarrassed of speaking Arabic, but my accent,
But
my English accent in
okay,
Arabic
no
is
one here knows that.
yeah. But then I'm gonna because one time they
Just
actually
mark
brought
it.
me into they just brought me into
Oh, Elvis.
Elvis's studio because you were doing top of the charts. Someone was doing top of the charts, and one of the songs was from Lebanon, and he put me on the spot, and I had to pronounce this Arabic song. And I completely butchered it. And like my whole family was listening. And I got all these text messages.
Okay, well, so what?
Nope, not
That's
doing it.
bullying.
Let's see. With all the delays, I feel like the show's already ended and we're just catching up. No, this show
No,
will
we're
not
here.
end.
We're here.
This show will not end until 9 o'clock on the West Coast
At
and
least.
noon on the East Coast. Because you've got an interview today, right?
I do. This is going to be.
So
Okay.
yesterday, Carla Marie talked about how she's going to be on the Morning Brew on their like little side newsletter thing.
On the Sidekick
Yeah.
newsletter. So if you haven't subscribed, I'll put it in here again. It's tomorrow's feature, from what I understand, unless they had to change it because of my schedule.
And if you subscribe to it, Carla Marie gets a free
I know.
styrofoam airplane or something. What did you
No,
used to get at like
I would
Sports World?
I would never get styrofoam. I have hit the amount where I think I'm supposed to get a pair of joggers, and I haven't gotten them
The
yet.
Morning Brew joggers.
But the backpack is next. So hold on.
Do they have a sleeping bag? Is this like the Marlboro catalog? You're gonna get a puffy jacket
No.
that says the Morning Brew.
Now I'm going to give you guys the specific link for Sidekick. But yeah, so I have this interview that's supposed to happen at 10:15 my time, except the issue that I am running into is, again, another night of no sleep with a sick cat. And I am mentally and physically hanging on by a thread. Like I could break at any moment.
I'm hanging by
I
a
knew you were gonna do
moment
it.
here with you.
I almost didn't say it because I knew you were going to do it.
I'm letting go of all I've held on to. I'm standing there until you make me move. Who sings that song? Lifehouse?
Yes.
Wow. Good old Lifehouse.
So I don't know what's going to happen. They're going to be asking me questions, and I'm just going to be staring into the camera.
Let's see. Wendy from Brooklyn said, Anthony, do you speak Arabic? I do speak it. I understand way more than I speak. Damn, I said bastard. But I don't speak it that well, and I definitely don't think or dream in Arabic.
Do you say in Arabic? Is there another word?
No, I don't. I don't know how to.
Wait, when you're speaking Arabic and you need to say what do you say?
Nothing.
What?
Or I just
so
say
you're,
.
So you're smarter in Arabic.
No. I just say I guess. I was actually having this conversation with my brother Michael as we were flying over to Spain. I don't know what it is. And I think French is a pretty cool language. But there's this way that French people speak where they just do this like this sound. And I find it so frustrating. If you're French, I'm telling you, I think your language itself is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is about
I like that sound.
the way that French people
Eh.
speak. They are not embarrassed or shy of ums or pauses or things
No.
that it's just this sound.
I like it.
I hate it.
love it.
I dislike it, and I think the reason it came up was we were on the flight from, I guess it was Brussels to Spain. So the last leg of this very long trip, not in premium class or anything like that, in an economy seat. I was in the middle, I believe.
We were exhausted.
And there was
I
a
was
group
in-
of people behind us.
I was in the middle.
You were in the middle.
Two of you.
So, but it was a small plane. And there were these people behind us that were having a full-on conversation in French. Now, the interesting thing about other languages that I will say is, and it's not even just other languages, it's also conversations that are happening in an inaudible level.
See, we're opposite on this.
I hate hearing conversations and not being able to fully understand or participate in them.
If I can't, it's background noise to me, and then I can sleep.
I hate background noise. But these people were having a full conversation in French and kept doing that like sound. But they did it the whole flight. So part of me was like, please just be quiet.
Yeah.
Second part was, I also, if I'm going to have to hear you, I wish I could understand what was going on.
Yeah.
I was like, how quickly can I learn French? And then there was that sound.
Yeah. It happens a lot.
So back to the list, because we haven't hit anything on this list. The first thing on it is the sick kitty update. Is Max in here?
No. thought I heard her. That's why I put that on. So after the show yesterday, I take her to the vet.
And an update, there was a puking kitty from Saturday night through Sunday.
Yeah, she puked like 11 times. Didn't eat. Get her to the vet. They were able to give her an injection for a nausea medicine, which I have to give her a tablet in a bit. They also did an x-ray on her and didn't see anything. But the vet said that when he was like poking around, touching her stomach, and I saw this, she like meowed at a certain spot, which he said could be her pancreas.
Okay.
So they did an all-encompassing like blood diagnostics test and added the pancreatitis panel to check. So I don't have the results yet. The x-ray looked okay according to him.
Did you see the x-ray? Did you see Max's skeleton?
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I should ask for it. I'm sure I can get it. And they were supposed to give her fluids for dehydration, obviously, because she was barfing so much. And I heard, I'm in the room where they were taking care of her, and then they take her to the back, and I hear screaming from an animal, and I'm like, oh my God, there must be a kitten here. Oh God, please don't be Max.
That was Max the whole time?
And they come in, and I looked at them, I go, was that her screaming? They're like, yeah, she refused the fluids. I'm like,
can't they just like pin her down real quick?
I was like, do you want me to hold her? They're like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, and they're amazing. They have been incredible. Part of me was like, guys, come on, like, let's just do this together.
Like muscle up and give her the shot.
But also, I trust them. Like, they know what she had just been through. They said they did all
Light her ass up.
all the other things, and that was the last thing, and she was just not having it. So we come home. She hasn't thrown up since, which is great. But she's essentially like gagging, I guess is the best way to describe it. She's doing that like yowl that cats do when they're about to throw up. And she's not throwing up, but she's drooling everywhere. Hasn't eaten since now Saturday afternoon. So I had a syringe feed her twice. She woke me up like all night doing this. And she slept on me. I woke up with a pool of drool.
Ew.
Yeah. So that's where we're at.
So is she going back to the doctor today?
Well, I texted them this morning. They're like, and the front desk people are amazing. And they responded with, oh, poor Max. And they're like, let me pass this along to the doctor. So that's where we're at. I am completely wrecked to the point where it is so hard for me to do anything else right now. Like, I cannot focus on
But it's also probably healthy to do other things. Like, what else are you going to do? Stare at your sick cat?
Yes. But I'm also very tired.
Mm-hmm.
I also haven't really, like, cried about it yet. Like, my eyes have, like, watered over it. But the fact that I haven't, like, bawled.
And I get it, because you want to speak to her and you want to, like, make her better. But she's going to be fine. She's just a sick animal at the moment. We all get sick, even animals. It happens.
Yeah, but she hasn't eaten for days.
She will. She will.
But it's also good and bad. Like, I've obviously been posting about this, and people have been responding like, oh my God, this happened. Someone said this happened to their cat, and they still don't know what's wrong with them, and it's been going on for like a week or so. And I'm like, is something going around? And then other people are like,
it's not like they hang out with other cats at kitty daycare.
There could be like there could be a bug, right?
I guess.
Like a literal, like fleas, things like that get past it. Like, we're right out. The door's right outside. Anyway, this person, then someone else was like, oh, that happened to my cat, and there was a growth in the back of their throat. Have them do a scope check. Oh, make sure.
Now you have like WebMD of
and it's like,
kittens.
make sure you have them do an ultrasound because an x-ray won't show if there's and I'm like, this is all like actually great information because I am now armed with knowledge going into this and I know what to ask, but it's also like very overwhelming.
There's a couple things in the chat because it is a little delayed today. I believe it was Kelsey who said my singing voice sounds like Dax Shepard. I guess when I was saying Lifehouse.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Tacoma Swifty said
that
does sound like Dax when he sings on Armchair Experts, his podcast.
Does that make me Kristen Bell? Except I cannot sing like Anna.
No, she sings phenomenally.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize Dax. I've actually never listened to their podcast.
She's not on it.
I know, or his podcast. I've actually never, all those big podcasts that people know, with the exception of Mark Maron.
We listened to Smartless a bit on a road trip.
One time. And it was the episode with Jimmy Kimmel. It was a great episode.
I've listened to Smartless a bit. I've listened to like one episode of Armchair Experts. I listened to the Anchorman Ron Burgundy thing for a little bit, and I was like, there's way more things I could be educating myself with podcast-wise than this.
Oh, I think I did when we were part of iHeart and we launched that Ron Burgundy one. I listened to a couple. My problem is right now I'm not really commuting anywhere. I'm not driving very far. I'm not walking to the gym yet because it's not that nice out. So I don't really have a lot of downtime. And when I'm here, I have headphones on a lot in this house, so I need to my ears need a break sometimes. But
Yeah.
once it gets to the warmer months, I do end up listening to way more content because it's like a 15, 20-minute walk to the gym and back.
It's true.
So that gives me at least 30, 40 minutes of content, audio content every day.
I have been crushing some serial killers podcasts. Not serial killers.
Trust me, I know.
You don't listen to it with me.
No, I don't. I don't have to listen to it. That's the whole point. I would say 3 times a day, Carla Marie will say, "Oh my God, I was listening to Scotty and Andy." Did you know what Scotty and Andy did? I was listening to serial killers.
Okay.
And I love it because I love those guys.
It's also when Anthony comes home and tells me 87 gym stories and how much weight he lifted.
Yes.
So here we are.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get offended because I told everyone how much you talk about Scotty and Andy's podcast?
No, I'm just saying.
Is someone a little booty hurt?
No, I'm just saying that in a relationship, there are things that you don't care about that the other person is talking about.
Of course.
But
I am going to give you a gym story later on that you're going to be blown away by.
Okay, we'll get there in a moment. But Scotty and Andy may or may not have me on an episode next week, so I'm excited.
Like you're going to record and do serial stuff with them?
Well, I wouldn't say serial stuff. You'll see.
Do you know if you're going to be on?
Yes.
Oh, so you are going to be on with them next week. Okay. When did you record with them?
They called me yesterday morning while I was sleeping.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad I was not awake because that must have been super early.
It was like 7. It was I was awake.
Oh, okay.
I just hadn't gotten up yet.
So that is the sick kitty update. We will keep you posted. Hopefully, by Thursday, she is eating and much better. Eating, pooping, doing all the things the cats do. Really, the only things the cats do: eat, poop, sleep.
It
Play
also
for about an hour.
always manages to happen at the most insane time. Like Caroline got so sick days before I was leaving for a 14-day trip to New Jersey and then Spain.
Oh yeah.
And now Max, I am unbelievably grateful that I'm not traveling anywhere, but we actually have the Ready to Drink Awards this week, and I need to be presentable, and there's a cool Instagram reel that we want to put together for the awards, and I'm like, what?
And all of that stuff is possible. It'll all be done.
But it's just I did say something to Anthony yesterday. I said all I was thinking about was, as I was going to the vet for the second time yesterday to pick up food that they wanted me to try to give her, of if we were still doing morning radio, what would I have done yesterday? Because she was still throwing up in the morning, and then I had to get her to the vet. And how if I would have said to a former boss, I can't come in, my cat is sick, he would have lost his shit on me. And I was just like, holy hell, I'm grateful for
Yeah, I
that.
think if we ended up back in that world, we would know how to act and how to do things. I think back then it would have been a little more difficult because we didn't know how to separate the two or take time for ourselves or for things that we cared about.
No.
But this next thing on the list. So we did the sick kitty update. Prayers up to Max. Hopefully she feels better. This actually happens. And I had heard about it. I'd never actually seen it. Okay. And yes, it is a story from the gym. But I am so invested now. I'm going to actually, there we go.
Can I just go check on her before this gym story?
Yeah, go for it.
If the vet calls, answer it.
What a cliffhanger. Now I just have to wait here.
Just tell them you're Max's dad.
What? Tell the vet I'm Max's dad. See, I don't think I would do that. I'd be like, no, just wait for Carla Marie to get here. She's checking on the cat now. Oh, I guess I could have put up the intermission, this screen, but I don't really like it. And we're back. Well, she's back.
She looks very angry. John is watching over her.
Did you wake her up?
No, she was awake.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was weird. Yeah, you're Max's emergency contact. If I go down at the vet, they're calling you. It's you're my emergency contact.
Oh, well, they're going to go right to the fire department down the street.
Why?
Just be like, here's some cats. Give them
Oh,
home.
the cats.
Yeah.
No. I mean, okay. Well, not if I die.
Yeah, what happens if you die?
Gabriella Marie knows what to do.
Because I can't take care of 4 cats. I'll just take Max. I'll find homes for the other 3. Erica might have a shot. We'll see. Anyway, so here's what happens yesterday. I'm at the gym, and I'm I'd say halfway through my workout. And for whatever reason, I had not put in my little skull candy earbuds yet. Okay, so I'm just taking in the sounds of the gym. And I'm set up at a station kind of in the middle of the whole weight room area. And I see a guy who I've never seen before. He's doing the leg press. And this guy is massive.
Okay.
Just a huge guy. He's probably leg pressing 1,000 pounds. And he goes over and he starts talking to this girl who I've seen at the gym a lot. I'm like, okay, no big deal.
Was he hitting on her?
So then, well, they were talking for a while, and you could kind of tell it was very flirty, right? Like
what were they doing? Like, what is flirty to you?
you could just, I can't explain it, but you could tell that at least one of them was trying to be flirty, and it was the guy.
Okay.
So then I'm now a little closer. They break off, they go do their thing, and then I hear it. I'm not even paying attention, but the words, I literally heard it right before I was about to start working out, doing a set, and I went, oh my God, it's happening. And I heard, hey, not sure if you're seeing anyone, but I'd love to get your number. And I'm literally in my head, I'm going, oh my God, it's happening.
Who?
The guy.
Asked the girl.
And here's the thing, both very fit people. Guy's massive. Girl, she might be the smallest person at the gym, but very fit, very strong.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh my God, I've got to know what's going on. So now I'm trying to like peer over my shoulder, kind of. I'm now positioning myself in different ways to see if I can understand.
Like, you may be able to go to their wedding and be like, I was there when the relationship blossomed.
I mean, I've never talked to either of them up until this point of my life, so I can't imagine I'd be invited. But I look over because I hear the words, and I'm like, oh, how is she going to react? So I glance, and she's smiling, and now they're chatting, and now this goes on for like 15 minutes. They're just there. First off, a little rude because she was on the deadlift area, and there's only one of those. So, like, quit yapping, start lifting, and move. But they're chatting. He's like sitting down on this like box next to where she's working out, and they're yapping, they're going back and forth, and they exchange numbers.
What?
And I'm so invested.
Strangers meeting in real life.
And at the gym, no less. And I understand that people meet everywhere, right? People meet the loves of their lives in the supermarket, at the vet, on airplanes, whatever.
Oh, good to know.
But I had never seen it happen at the gym. And I have tried so hard in my life to just avoid all interactions with women at gyms because I can't imagine the amount of times they get hit on in that specific scenario.
Uh-huh.
And you're usually in like less clothing or tighter fitted clothing. It's just like a very vulnerable setting.
Yeah.
But I was jealous, not of the guy getting the girl's number. I was jealous of the confidence it takes
that's not easy
to do that.
You've never asked a girl. You did ask a girl.
Not at the gym.
Oh, sorry.
The closest I came to something like that at a gym was there was a woman who worked at the check-in area at Odyssey Gym in Waldwick, New Jersey, or Wyckoff, north of Ridgewood. And I was just out of college, or I was a senior in high school, I believe. And she was also in high school.
Tone.
No, and it was like, we had interactions as I was checking in, because at the time you had to like take out your little key fob thing, and she'd check you in and say, okay, you're good to go. And then I saw her at a different event somewhere. And because of that event, I was then able to like get her number and stuff. Okay. So that would be the closest I ever came to hitting on someone at the gym.
Being like that, like good for that guy.
Yeah, and here's what I appreciated from an outsider's perspective.
Okay.
He did a little bit of groundwork, right? For some reason, he got to chatting with her, whether it was simply asking if she was using something or whatever. He got to chatting, so he did his research to be like, all right, is she receptive to speaking to people? And who knows? Maybe this has been the third or fourth time that something like this had happened.
Yeah. Oh, you couldn't tell if they had spoken before?
No, and I go to the gym around the same time every day, so I see the same people for the most part, and I'd never seen this guy before.
Yo, so next time you see me, you're gonna be like, yo, bro, do you know?
No.
I feel like I feel like there are guys that would do that even if they didn't know him. Like,
no, I've never seen this guy.
What?
I've never seen this.
I feel like there are guys that would have been in your situation that would be douchey enough to be like, yo, bro, did you take her out?
Have you talked to a guy before? Yo, bro, did you take her out? Did you give her the time?
I didn't want to say something too aggressive.
Did anyone pick up that To Kill a Mockingbird reference? No, not To Kill a Mockingbird.
No, we didn't, obviously, because you didn't either.
The Graduate? Crap, what movie was it? Or book? Give her the time.
What are you? So you quoted something, but you don't actually know.
It was, hold on. Give
Okay, so anyway,
her the
this guy.
time. Catch her in the rye. Thank you. So, from what I observed, the guy put in some groundwork, right? Let me gauge her interest and her openness to having a conversation. Gave her a break. And then I think it was on the way out too, which I always think is the best move. The times that I have shot my shot, you've got to do it as a guy especially. But I would suggest this for women too if you're ever thinking, hey, I'd like to hit on this guy at the bar, the restaurant, wherever you are.
I love it.
Do it on the way out. And do it in a way where there is no obligation for the person who is being hit on or requested of a number or information or whatever.
Yeah,
because
like to have to say yes. Too.
Exactly. It frees up that person where they now feel like they have a choice and they're not stuck. I guess I've done it 3, maybe 4 times in my life where there's been someone in the service industry, cocktail waitress, hostess, waitress, something like that I've wanted to, flirt it a little bit, want to see where it could go. What I would normally do, this was my move for a while, and it worked a handful of times in terms of, not worked in terms of like, just, did you take her out? It worked in terms of like, I at least kept the conversation going. I would write my name and my number on like a receipt somewhere or a napkin. And literally on the way out, I would say, hey, no pressure. I left my name and my number on this. Feel free to reach out if you want.
But like for what? Did you say it like as if it was like a business deal?
No.
Because the way you just said it right now, it's just like, call me if you need some books. I can sell them to you.
No. It was.
How did you do? Like you have to be like Mr. Suave.
No. That was it though. The whole point of just saying, because at that point, I at least felt like there was some sort of flirty interaction. Right, so I don't have to say, oh, so I could take it out.
But like, did you smile when you said it?
Yeah.
I don't know. You just said it so official just now.
No, I would say, here's my name here, or I wrote my name and my number on the napkin.
You're not smiling.
Hey, girl. No. That's just, I don't know. It wasn't matter of fact, but it also, I didn't try to like crank up the suaveness. It was just like, hey, if you'd like to reach out, if you'd like to talk a little more. Here you go. Okay,
Fred the mailman just said, this breaks Fred rule number 3. Don't go on dates where you hit your weights.
So I have not done it except for Odyssey Gym back in New Jersey, which I didn't really go to.
Not you, the
I know.
guy. Oh.
But I'm just agreeing with Fred.
Yeah.
And it's tough because you're going to see good-looking people at the gym, generally speaking. You're going to see all sorts of people, but there's a good chance you're going to see some good-looking people at the gym. And there are probably people in my past who I've been like, oh, I wonder if I could take that person on a date.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it at the gym. Just wouldn't.
Well, Claire said, oh my gosh, I've had a crush on a guy at the gym for 7 months.
You just got to be willing. If it doesn't go right, that's his gym. You were the one that reached out and made it awkward. You got to find a new place.
Yeah, Heather said, I'm thinking this. Who gets to dictate who gets the gym and the breakup? Or they need to agree to hours.
So if
that is tough. Because then what if you start dating someone else? Like, oh, my ex goes to my gym. I would be like, I don't know if I like this.
It depends. If it was a full relationship, right, and you break up, I don't think you have to split the gym. But I do think if you shot your shot, right, if you made the attempt and now it's awkward, it is on you, the person who made it awkward, to find a new place. And that goes for
that invited, like, well,
yes.
It could be anyone who made it awkward.
No, the person who instigated the interaction.
Oh, okay.
Right? So let's say we're going to the same gym, Carla Marie. I'm working the checkout area, and you're like, oh my God, you're so funny and handsome, and you're so great, and I just want to be around you more often. Could we go out?
Was I drunk when I went to the gym?
And I'm like, sorry, girl, I'm just not interested. Right?
So now I got to go to the gym when you're not working?
You either have to figure out my schedule on your own and avoid me at all costs, or you find a new place to work out. Because you were the one that, and I give you credit for going out on a limb, but I shouldn't have to feel awkward because you decided to go out on a limb. And for the record, most people aren't going to get that awkward. If anything, they'll say, I'm in a relationship, and you move on. You go, oh, okay, done.
Wait, what did the guy say? What was his question?
He just said, hey, I'm not sure if you're seeing anyone.
Seeing anyone, okay.
But if you're not, I'd love to get your number. Something, it was very close to that. paraphrasing, but it was very, very close to that. And I'm pretty sure that's how he opened up.
So
Not
you
sure if
need-
you're seeing anyone.
But you can't just tell us the story and then we never hear about it again.
So, well, no, I go around the same time every day. If I see more and I find out more,
Yeah.
if that girl's smiling more at the gym, I will let you know.
Okay. No, you need to listen to their conversations.
Well, I'll
And
do
if
my
they
best.
start matching, at the
If they
gym.
start matching at the gym, I'm all like I'm shipping this relationship hard for them. They're both very strong humans. I give them a lot of credit. They put in the work.
Okay.
Let's see. And yeah, favorite bar is another place. If you like hit on the bartender or waitress at your favorite place and things get weird, that's on you. You got to go somewhere else. You got to find a new favorite.
Yeah. I mean, that is tough.
Wasn't that a Friends episode? Didn't one of them ruin like their favorite bar?
I think so, but also
Or Seinfeld, maybe?
I feel like they don't really go to the bar in Friends. Like very
The coffee shop?
They're at Central Perk.
Maybe it was at Tom's restaurant in Seinfeld.
Well, no, yeah, probably. But
That might
also
have been the episode I'm thinking of.
John from the Almost On Air podcast,
Yes.
he had a favorite bar, and then this girl he hooked up with ended up working there. So it was like the opposite.
Yeah.
But we talked about it on one of the podcasts.
Yeah, I
we did
think
with him.
in that case, if she started working there after he had made it his bar and after they hooked up, all bets are off.
Yeah.
No one has to leave at that point. The first place I believe I'd used the napkin trick, writing my info and whatever, was actually at a bar or a club in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And really, I had no business.
Was this the one I was there for?
No, this was a bunch of my friends were down there. I forgot for what, but I, did it. I wrote my name, info, felt like I was flirting with the cocktail waitress, which is tough because cocktail waitresses, much like strippers, are kind of like they know they're going to make more money if they flirt with the guys at their table.
Yes.
Right. So they turn it on a little bit. I'm sure what's it called? Bartenders do the same thing. But I shot my shot before that was even a saying. And I said, you don't need to respond right now. If you feel like it, shoot me a text, something like that. And I walked out. And the next day, she actually reached out and she was like, you seemed really nice. I'd love to hang out more. And then she was like, when can we hang out? I was like, oh, I live like 3 hours away.
So you were just trying to.
No, I was drunk. She was beautiful. And I was just like, let me see if she'll even be interested in me. And we texted a little bit after that. And that was about it. I don't think I've been to Atlantic City since then.
No, that's not true.
Oh, I went with my cousins a couple of years ago.
No, when did that happen? Because the one time we went,
yeah,
as a group, you met a random girl.
This was after that.
Oh,
this was
you
after
just
that.
go to Atlantic City and try to find women.
I mean, it's the Vegas of New Jersey. What can you say?
Ugh.
It's the much worse,
Ugh.
depressing version of Vegas in New Jersey. Let's see. But the whole point of that move, though, is there's no pressure and do it on the way out. Even if you're going to go back to that place, make that initial contact and request on the way out. And give the person who you're asking something of opportunity to step away from the situation, not feel pressured, and make a decision. And then honor that decision. You can't be like, how come you never reached out to me? You gave them the option. They made their choice. And that's it.
All right. You can just, like, a good way to hit on someone could be on the way out, like, hey, you look great. Give me a call sometime.
We should make a "You Look Great" introduction card that you can print out on your own.
We can easily do that.
Hey, you look great. Here's a podcast to listen to. Also,
no, but if someone's handing me out hit on me cards, if someone handed me a card that they printed,
I don't know.
To go out, like, not like, here's my business. It's no, we're not doing that.
I think it'd be cute in some capacity. Next thing on the list.
The Chive has something like that.
Live fast, die young, save never. So there's all this research coming out now. And actually Gandhi from Elvis's show had posted a meme that was similar to this. And I saw the article late last night after I was talking to Gandhi about the meme that she posted. And it's basically that because Gen Zers, is that what we would call them? And millennials have seen so much craziness and are just hammered over the head with terrible headlines basically their whole lives.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better.
They have this apocalyptic phase of their life where they don't see the point in saving for anything and they just spend their money on whatever they feel like spending their money on because subconsciously they actually don't think they're going to make it long enough where they need to save money.
I think that is there are definitely a group of people that do that. There are times where I'm like thinking about, wow, I'm like one day when I'm old and I'm like, who am I kidding? I'm not going to live till I'm old. There's going to be no food on this planet, or we're going to get hit by a meteor or whatever. Like there's no way we're getting to that point. That's how like I often think like that. But then I'm like, but if we do, I would like to have money. So
well, yeah, and you have to balance it out a little bit. But they're saying that instead of saving their money, they're spending it on things like hobbies, new apartments, dinners, things like that. And a lot of it was
it's like any 20s.
There's two parts of it. One is both of the generations, millennials and Gen Zers, are for the most part thinking of the now, if not equally to the future. So you think, well, why do I need to save money for when I'm 90 when I'm going to have more fun now spending that money?
Yeah. You just have to, that's called balance.
Yeah. Let's see.
They're still talking about the gym.
But the other part of it is also people saying, hey, it's okay to have hobbies, right? Like, think about it this way. Your dad has a boat, right? Your dad goes fishing. That's his hobby. What is your mom's hobby?
She used to go to bingo. She doesn't really have one anymore. I yell at her for it. She gardens.
It's funny because my brothers and I will have the same conversations with our parents. Like, what's your hobby? And my dad will say, like, going to work. I'm like, that's your job. That's not your hobby.
Yeah, I think that, yes, clearly people of our parents' ages have hobbies. I'm not saying they don't. But I also think that generation, it wasn't like a thing to be like scrolling on Instagram and see something cool that you might want to start doing.
Yeah.
There wasn't the internet to find things out. You crocheted, you sewed, or you went on your boat, or you fished. Like, there really wasn't, at least where we grew up, right? There's not really like this, I'm going to go for a hike or I'm going to do whatever. And
they also had kids much younger.
And yes. So there wasn't time to find things that you like to do.
Yeah.
And I constantly tell my mom, like, you need to find something you enjoy. Like, she enjoys baking.
Well, especially now that she's retired.
She enjoys baking, but she bakes for holidays. She just doesn't bake, like, every day.
Also, if you bake every day, someone's got to eat that every day.
Yes.
So. Ooh, does the rule apply to your church? I'm assuming that's about dating.
Yeah. Well,
I think church relationships are actually very common.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't make it weird, you could both still go to the same church or synagogue or wherever you go. Let's see. Fidelity Retirement.
Oh.
The Fidelity Retirement Planning Survey of about 2,500 adults found that 45% of next gen, defined as 18 to 35-year-olds, don't see a point in saving until things return to normal. And if you hope things return to normal, you're going to be very disappointed because there is no such thing as normal.
No.
There's just always going to be market crashes and world events that shift everything. Yeah. But it's not.
I think what happened is that someone from another multiverse came here.
Yeah, and what did they do?
Caused a shitstorm. Clearly the only answer.
And the last thing on the list.
There's more.
The last thing on the list is really just the Ready to Drink awards for tomorrow. So why don't you give everyone the info, Carla Marie?
Tomorrow night at 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 East Coast time, and all the other times in between, we're going to go live right here, and we are going to reveal the best canned or bottled cocktails in specific categories. The envelopes are downstairs. Got them delivered yesterday. And we're going to go through, there's
the accounting services. No, what do they call it? The auditing services?
At PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Yes, they dropped them off.
They did. And, there's categories, best poolside drink. So and it was voted by real Seattle Cocktail Club members who blind tasted all of these drinks. So we
had actually done the blind taste test, not for this round, but for last year's, for the inaugural RTD Awards.
It was really cool. So it'll be a good time. We'll be here just hanging out, revealing some cool drinks for you to check out for the summer. We'll be drinking On the Rocks cocktails. So I mentioned this today in the Morning Show podcast. They're on Drizzly.
Yes.
So if you can't get to a liquor store or don't feel like going, you can order them.
Or just go pick one up on your way home. And as always, if you drink responsibly.
Yes.
You're more than welcome to hang out with us and not drink. Or drink whatever you have at home. But if you are going to go buy something specifically for the theme, of ready to drink
Yeah.
cocktails, then On the Rocks is definitely a good choice. I've had the margarita today. I had the old fashioned yesterday.
I had spicy margarita yesterday and the cosmopolitan today.
Yep.
I'm a fan of all so far.
I definitely like both of them.
Yeah.
If I had to pick between the two, I'm
Ooh.
more of an old. It's tough.
I think I might be. I guess it depends on the day. Like I want to lean more towards the Cosmo, but that doesn't mean I didn't like the spicy margarita.
You know what? Here's what I'll say for my two drinks. So I had the margarita. I'm having the margarita today. If you're on the West Coast, okay, because it's Wednesday. If you're on the West Coast, we're gonna start this. Yeah, we're gonna start this thing at 5:30 on the West Coast. Go with the margarita.
Okay.
It's a little more lively, and if you want to get into some trouble later on, it's a good way to start.
Okay.
If you're on the East Coast, and your day is coming to an end, and this is gonna be like a nightcap,
Oh, nightcap.
go with the old fashioned.
Which, by the way, that is one of the categories. Best nightcap.
Oh, okay. I'm
So,
excited for that one.
we'll
How many,
find
do
out.
we know how many categories there are?
There were this many envelopes.
Oh, that's a phenomenally accurate number.